turning old phone cords into gold. We'll check out a unique tool today on Focus 48. Good afternoon. If you look inside your child's classroom, you might be surprised at what you'll find. The creative bulletin boards, the drawers full of art supplies, hands-on science experiments, and have you noticed that the little girl who never seems to have her supplies suddenly has what she needs? The surprise comes when you find out who is paying for most of that, the classroom teacher. In fact, many use a good chunk of their salaries to buy the items they need to make a classroom successful when there is no money in the school budget to help. Teacher drain, both mentally and financially, is a big problem here and all over the country. But at least in our community, there is a white knight riding to the rescue called Crayons to Computers. It's sort of a free store for teachers. The Bond Hill Distribution Center serves needy teachers in grades from kindergarten through 12 and is available to those qualified in 8 tri-state counties. Today on Focus 48, we're going to find out about the program, how it works, and we'll meet some of the teachers who say it's a lifesaver. Our guests, Denise Graber with Crayons to Computers, Donna Gillia with A.D. Owens Elementary, Richie Bailey with South Avondale Elementary, and Mark Spradling with Norwood Baptist Schools. Thank you all for being with us today.
Thank you.
Denise, let's start with you. How did Crayons to Computers come to be?
Well, the idea for Crayons to Computers was actually conceived in a Leadership Cincinnati class in which our board president, Shannon Carter, was a member. Shannon and a few members of that class approached the Free Store to try to garner support for the project, when it actually ended up being a partnership with the Free Store. They gave up about 6,000 square feet of space in their warehouse on Tennessee Avenue in 1996, which we turned into a retail-like setting. In February of '97, we opened our doors to 22 neighborhood schools that surrounded the Bond Hill area. Since that time, we've grown so that we're able to accommodate 110 schools, and that's based on a poverty index. So over a very short amount of time, we've grown tremendously.
Donna, how did you first find out about it?
I first found out about it from some friends who've gone there, and then I read some articles about it in the newspaper. And it was just pretty interesting, and we started talking to our principal about it, and we found out we qualified.
Richie?
I think I found out the same way through word of mouth, as well as I believe our school might have been one of the first schools, part of that first group that was selected as the school that were eligible to be there. And it was also in the newspaper. We got a flyer that came to the school introducing Crayons to Computers. And at that time, we decided to, a few of us went over to see what was going on, and we were really surprised.
Describe it, if you will. What did you think from your perspective when you walked in there?
Oh my goodness, I was so surprised. There were many, many items. The title, Crayons to Computers, is literally what it is. You start off seeing crayons, but by the time you're at the end of the store, there are the computers. There is paper. Things are so colorfully decorated that it's attractive to us teachers as we go in. So all you can see is how many incentives you can get, how many students you're going to make happy by having some of these items. It's just been great.
Mark, you're agreeing?
Oh yes, we were one of the original schools as well. And of course, as an administrator, the thing that's really benefited our school, from my perspective, has been the help in the computers area.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
I want to talk a little bit more about that, though, but to give you a better understanding of the Crayons to Computers program, let's take a look. We went on location and we put together a video for you. Here's Crayons to Computers.
Underfunding has caused lots of local schools and their teachers to struggle. But we're happy to say they have an enthusiastic ally to lend a hand. Crayons to computers. You might have heard us talked about around town. You might have seen us in the local press, maybe even in Time magazine. If not, nothing sums us up better than the words of our mission statement.
We serve the educational and creative needs of children in the greater Cincinnati area by providing a unique means to transfer donated merchandise from businesses and individuals, free to teachers, for use in their classrooms and schools.
In 1996, Crayons to Computers was just a gleam in our eye. The idea was to provide a free store for school teachers.
We've solicited donations from businesses and individuals in the community, and there's been a tremendous response. Everyone really seems to be behind the project, and we really appreciate the support.
Crayons to Computers is a store where teachers can shop for supplies. The big difference is there's no cash register. Every item is free to eligible teachers in underprivileged schools. All material is surplus, donated by businesses and individuals. Everything literally, from crayons to computers, and just about anything in between. Teachers can find essentials like paper, folders, notebooks, glue, file cabinets, office supplies, reference books, and things most of us would never guess a school could use.
We receive the traditional school supplies that you might expect as donations. We get glue, crayons, markers, things of that nature, but we also get oddball items donated that are kind of surprising. We get telephone cords in 7 different colors, 25,000 of them, 280,000 ice cream containers, and the teachers come up with all sorts of creative uses of these products.
Things that just a few months ago were gathering dust in somebody's warehouse now will find their way into the eager hands of thousands of needy kids and their teachers. Early on, Crayons to Computers was lucky enough to partner with the Free Store Food Bank, an affiliate of Second Harvest. In 1996, they gave up 3,500 square feet of warehouse space to this experimental free store for teachers. Shannon Carter, a small army of volunteers, and a lot of enthusiasm transformed the space into a vibrant, efficient retail environment. Since then, it's been welcome news to the whole community. A small, paid staff sees to daily operation, but much of the time-consuming sorting of merchandise, stocking of shelves, and other tasks is handled by hundreds of volunteers. Most are teachers who offer their time in gratitude to the shop and its donors.
Our school has benefited a lot from what we've gotten here. I personally have benefited a lot, so I figured that I can give back and help other people.
And all the other volunteers. We do this because we like it, and this benefits the children.
To be eligible to shop at Crayons to Computers, a teacher must teach in a school within the poverty index, as measured by the free or subsidized school lunch program. Teachers from non-eligible schools can earn a shopping trip by donating 3 hours a week to the store. Teachers do their shopping after school hours. They fill up their carts with what they need, fill out a form of items taken, then file past a checkout stand. Though a national study showed teachers on average spend over $500 of their own money on school supplies, here they can get more than that amount without paying a cent.
Everything in the store is absolutely free. The only requirement is a little homework we have for the teachers. We ask them to have their children write thank you notes to the donors. Behind me, there's one on the wall that says, "Dear Julie Hellwig, thank you for all the goodies for our classroom. My teacher said she felt like she had died and gone to heaven." And we thought that was definitely worth framing.
After a typical day of shopping, the shelves are pretty well picked clean. Thanks to the generosity of all the different businesses, individuals, and other agencies that donate surplus goods, the shelves will be stocked the next day.
Gosh, when a truck pulls up, it's like potluck Christmas every day. We never know what's on that truck, and it's usually something very useful.
For the donors, staff, and volunteers, the biggest joy comes in seeing how items taken by the teachers are used in the classroom. The computers are practically an operation unto themselves. Many individuals and companies, after upgrading, donate their old computers to Crayons to Computers. It's sometimes possible for a school to get enough computers to outfit a complete computer lab.
So again, from everyone at Crayons to Computers, from thousands of kids and their teachers, we say thank you.
Wow, according to the national statistics, teachers in America spend $500 a year of their own money on classroom supplies. How does that figure locally?
That might even be moderate. We could spend more than that, yes. And I would have to say we would spend our money probably by paychecks. So every paycheck, we might spend $50 easily trying to get paper, construction paper, crayons, incentives, magic marker, colored pencils. Depending on the grade level that you deal with, depends on the expense that you might have. You might be looking for journal books, and here Crayon to Computers has spiral books, which will also work. Your needs are so great, and some of the things that are donated, you're just so surprised that would cost us. I moved into a room that had no carpeting. I was looking at buying carpet squares, and I said, well, if I spend $1, if I could even get them at $1 a piece. I went to Crayons and Computers, and there was I guess they call them a slab, a truck, a pallet full of carpet squares. That saved me for sure $35 to $40, and that was just carpet squares.
You know, that's going to be surprising for a lot of people to hear that teachers have to spend their own money for these supplies. I guess you just expect it to be there, don't you, Mark?
Well, as an administrator, you know, you budget for the things that students consume, you know, like paper supplies and things like that. Crayons to Computers has also helped us out as far as with office supplies and things, even in that area. But my wife is a teacher, and she often is stocking things like a prize box or, you know, incentive program, and that's where Crayons to Computers really helps her out, where she would be spending that money out of her own pocket.
Denise, what does the average teacher tend to spend at the store?
I think we've started to focus in on that and actually put a price tag on some of the items that we get. We think the teachers are leaving there with about $150 to $200 in merchandise. A lot of our items are recycled products, but a lot of them are also new. And if they were to go out and buy those items in the store, they would be very costly.
How do you come up with all this variety of items? Do you go solicit businesses? How does this happen?
Yes, we do. We solicit, by word of mouth now, we're starting to get businesses that have heard of us, have heard of our project, and are really behind it supporting us. We have wonderful donors that have sent us a lot of recycled product that would end up in landfill. And so we've actually become recyclers also. We've got, for instance, 25,000 telephone cords donated from Cincinnati Bell.
One would ask, okay, telephone cords, what would you do? Count them in a classroom?
The teachers love the telephone cords. They've made everything from little hats with the UDF containers to necklaces. So teachers are very creative people.
I put them on my Christmas tree at Christmas time as the garland around the tree.
Okay. Well, I think that's it. Do people just call you up and say, hey, look, I've got 52 can lids.
Yes, we do.
Do you want them?
We try not to turn down any donations because really everything that comes through the door has some use. So we accept any donation, new or used, and we find a way to recycle those and redistribute them through our store. P&G is a huge donor of ours, and they come almost daily with a truck. And what they're sending us, there were a lot of recycled office supplies, but we are able to use those. Mark had mentioned that he uses those in his office, and a lot of the schools do use those items.
Well, Donna came today, and she brought a whole tote bag full of things that she's been shopping for at the school. Now, these little tiny pencils, I would think those would be great for little tiny fingers. Why are they so small? Where'd you get those?
These are wonderful. They were golf pencils. So the other part were golf pencils. This is the part they donated to Crayons to Computers. And so often the students come to school, they don't have pencils. Or they've lost their pencil on the playground, they've lost it on the way to school, and you just tell them to go get one. And they have the erasers on them, which makes it perfect. So if they need to erase a problem and their eraser's gone, they just go get a pencil.
Now, when you go to the store, is it something like, well, you go in with a specific mission, or you just walk in being open-minded because you just never know what you're going to find?
Open-minded.
You have to be open-minded.
I'm on a mission. I think you can be open-minded and on a mission. I'm on a mission.
Yeah.
There are some things that I definitely know I need and I'm hoping to see there. So We get there, get our carts, and it's just like being in a grocery store.
Mark, what do you hear from your teachers?
They love it. It has greatly enhanced, again, the prize boxes and things like that as far as their incentives of our school. The art teacher appreciates the art section and all the materials and fabric and things like that that they can use in their art program. So.
Now you've got here a UDF.
Yeah, this was one of the
container?
UDF containers that was covered with one of the donors for Crayons to Computers. The stickers also came from Crayons to Computers, and for next week my students will make these for the Valentine mailboxes.
Those are really nice.
This is nice.
Now, who decorates all this?
This came from the Crayons with Convictions.
We work with a program, the Ohio Prison Systems, called Crayons with Convictions. We give them a lot of our surplus supplies. United Dairy ice cream containers is one. Wallpaper books. We give them a lot of different papers, and they're able to then turn around and make school supplies for the teachers that are specific for them. They cover the UDF containers, they make journals that the teachers can use.
So you've got a feedback for the community of somebody who's doing time being able to serve the community.
It's a
while
very
they're still behind
positive
bars.
effort.
You even do flashcards, I read somewhere.
And a wooden clock. They have a wooden clock there they've made that's in my classroom right now. And it's very durable. The kids, hands-on, the kids can use it. They can't hurt it. It's wonderful.
Now you keep talking about incentives. Why are they so important to the schools?
These are some incentives.
Why are they so important?
These are some of the incentives that we've gotten there.
Silly putty, oh, those balls, they're great.
All you
The
have to
balloon
do
balls.
is tell the students that whoever works super hard on a project, that they might get a chance to earn this, and they put forth the best effort they possibly can to work on that
I think,
project.
too, when you think of an incentive, everybody wants a prize. Everybody wants to win something or to receive something. And it's such a great thing having Crayons to Computers because everyone in the class can get something. And that's what makes them work so hard. It's hard when you only have a few and you say, well, only 5 people are going to win today. No, everybody's going to win today because you've got enough. So it's very important. The incentives are very important. They do help students who are slow workers work faster. It helps those who are great workers work better than that. So they're good. They're good for us.
Mark, what kind of reaction do you get from the parents when they find out about this program?
I tell you, as a small private school, we accept no state aid, so it really helps our parents as far as, it helps us keep our tuition affordable in the area we're in, which is the Norwood area and of course, surrounding areas. So they greatly appreciate the help that comes by directing these donations into the classroom.
With all the exuberance that I'm seeing here, it must be fun, Denise, watching the first-time teacher walk in.
It is really fun, and it just makes me smile to hear the wonderful comments from our teachers, but the best reaction is when a first-time teacher who had not been there before walks in and said, we get all this for free? And it's really surprising, and they're just so excited when they walk out of there. And to be there in the afternoon and work with the teachers and see the smiles on their faces when they're leaving the door is really wonderful. It's a great place to be.
I noticed in the video all the people stocking the shelves. Now, is there a program, if you're going to shop, then you also have to work? How does that figure out?
Our 110 schools that are eligible to shop, we ask that they do some give back by volunteering at least once during the school year. However, we do not make it mandatory. The other part is that we want to keep our doors open to any teacher in an 8-county area. So we have another program called Volunteer to Shop. Any teacher from any school can come and give us 3 hours, and we give them school supplies in return. We obviously need volunteers. There's only 2 paid staff, and everyone else, and there's usually about 20 people a day, are volunteers. So it's a wonderful program. The fact that a lot of our teachers that are eligible do want to pay back, and then the other part of it is the Volunteer to Shop program, which we have been able to serve a lot of other schools through that program.
Now, Richie, you've turned it into a family affair.
Well, I am so excited about it, and I was not able at first to do volunteer, but they were looking for volunteers. My mother is retired, and I mentioned it to her, and she's such a people person. She is so excited about it. She goes, she stocks, she helps us check out. So I thought, well, I'll just use my extended arm here to get a little help, but it's so worth it. I would tell anybody about the Crayons to Computers. It's a well-worthy cause.
Mark, you volunteered at the store also?
I haven't, but my teachers have, and we're continuing a program to rotate our teachers through to make sure that, again, we want to see this succeed and go. We've been there from the beginning, and so, and it has constantly improved, and the things that they continue to supply to the teachers are just fantastic. It gets better and better.
I see the thank you notes in the video, I guess, and the kids are aware of the generosity of others that's enabling them to have these projects. What kind of a reaction do you get from them? Okay, when you walk into a classroom and you've got 52 phone cords.
They say, you've been back to Crayons to Computers.
You've got them conditioned now.
Yes, they know.
What about the donors themselves? How do you include them? Do they get to see these great projects that materialize from maybe their phone cord or their partial pencils?
They do on occasion. We invite them to come anytime and tour the store, and we have a lot of these things on display, which is really wonderful. Our donors have just been wonderful to us, and we have a lot of repeat donors that continue to supply these school supplies for our teachers. But we do have only one requirement, that we ask the teachers to write thank yous or have their students write thank yous, which they do. So the donors that are donating to us get a lot of personal thank yous from the students. They're invited to the store to tour, and we often have an appreciation party for them, and we really try to reach out to them on a personal level.
Since you started the program at each of your individual schools, how has it changed things?
Oh, for my school, our budget was very limited. We had a very small amount of money to buy everything we needed for the whole entire year. So therefore, since I could go to Crayons to Computers, I now have unlimited paper that I need, art supplies that I need. I have wonderful incentives that I need. Plus, it also gives the kids a good letter writing opportunity. Now they have a reason why to write thank you notes, because they write them to the donors who have given us all this wonderful stuff. So not only do they get to use these things, they also have to write the letter and make sure everything's spelled correctly and make sure it looks nice in order to send it out to the donor.
Richie?
I have some computers now in my classroom, and computers are expensive, and in the age of technology that we need computers. And Crayons to Computers, I've gotten a couple of computers, and they're in the classroom, and the students just love them. The morale in our school is a lot better because there is plenty of things. Notebook paper, you would think notebook paper would be already in the schools, but it's not. So you have to purchase notebook paper. But with Crayons to Computers having these things, and I'd like to say that everything there is up to date. It's not like they're giving us stuff that's 1989. Valentine's stickers. Valentine's Day is coming up. That's right. So they're always current. It has really helped. Students leave going home every day with little bags of something in them, and it makes everybody feel good. So I'd say it's been a great success for our school.
Mark, hooked on schools?
Besides dittoing what's already been said, and again in the computer area, we have a lab that's been completely supplied by Crayons to Computers. Plus their software. They also provide us with software that is right there. It's up to date, and it's something that the kids can learn from right there. We're using Windows 95, so we are very thankful for that.
You know, I guess that some of the people are going to see this and they're going to say, come on, parents can't supply their children with pencils and paper. Give us your reality check, will you?
Sometimes that's not possible. Sometimes there's bills that come up or some other situations comes up. I've had several students that have been in a fire and they've lost all their school supplies, their backpack, all of their notebooks and things, and the parents are pretty well strapped furnishing their house, so therefore I can go ahead and give her what she needs for school so she doesn't feel left out.
Richie?
I don't think that parents just don't buy it. As you say, sometimes it's a second thought or a second part of the list. On the list there's so many other things, and maybe they might get one pencil, but one pencil's not enough. So having Crayons to Computers really does help meet a family's needs. So that's what we're also doing, is meeting families' needs.
Denise, are there any items that you are in really critical need of? Things that, boy, if that truck would pull up today, it would just make your whole week.
We have gotten so many wonderful donations, and I often get asked that question. A lot of the things that we have are limited, such as crayons and things like that. Art supplies are also, craft items are limited. Those are things that the teachers love when they see, when they walk in the door. They're also things that they can take back to the classroom and use. So arts and craft type items are really needed. We can always use more pocket folders. We can always, actually we can even use more UDF containers. So there's just a lot of variety. We do try to keep a variety in the store, and we don't turn down any donations. So.
Someone's seeing this program thinking, gee, you know, that sounds like a good idea. I don't have any kids in the schools, but I'd like to help out. What do they do?
They can contact us at 1250 Tennessee Avenue. And we're in the Bond Hill area. We have a dock that they can pull right up to give their donations. We do give them a tax receipt, so everything is tax deductible because we are completely nonprofit. They can also come and volunteer. I need volunteers all the time. We are hoping to expand to other schools. We'd really like to open our doors to more eligible schools that are in need. So we really need a lot of volunteers. We need them in the morning to stock the shelves, and in the afternoon when the teachers are there. It gets kind of crazy, and we need a lot of volunteers. So those are two ways they can help, and it's a wonderful project, and everybody that's toured the store really is excited about it.
Is there a number you can call?
Yes,
Give
there
it
is.
one more time.
It's 482-7095.
Thank you all for being with us today. Much hopes for the future of Crayons to Computers. Sounds like an excellent program, and it can only grow.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on Focus 48.
Focus 48, European Journal, the Sunday Lawrence Welk Show, and the Sunday afternoon movie won't be seen next week because of a special telecast of The Quest, discovering the human potential, the spiritual path to success, and